So my role, I'm a soybean agronomist at the University of Minnesota, and so I really work to help producers produce a larger crop and a higher quality crop, and that really helps their overall economic returns on an annual basis. So I take a really broad view at it to try to help be more efficient in their production and then produce a larger and higher quality crop. My focus is really to discuss with farmers the key issues around the long-term sustainability of their production and increasing the value of their crop. And part of that is helping producers understand that their crop goes somewhere and there's someone out there that wants to buy that crop. And so connecting them kind of in a psychological way with the end user, so that they know that they're producing something that somebody values and something that somebody needs. They're not just taking a crop to the elevator to sell and be gone with it. It's something that somebody actually is looking for to purchase for a certain purpose. So we're really focused on helping farmers produce a high quality crop that has value in the market. So the question about what quality is to a farmer is a real challenge to us right now, and that's really part of what we're trying to change in the marketplace, as well as among farmers, their own thinking. Quality has traditionally meant some very standard things about grain grading, for instance, among farmers. So how much foreign material is in there, the moisture content of the seed. Later on, farmers were evaluated in terms of quality based on the protein level, perhaps. But we're trying to really look beyond just those kind of classical measures of protein and foreign material, and talk about really intrinsic values within the soybean that have purpose for the end user. Because we know that foreign material, protein, while they're important, they may not be ultimately the most important thing to certain end users. So we're trying to become more broad and try to identify things that are of value to the end user. The challenge, I think, in terms of determining what quality is for an end user is the fact that end users have different standards and different things that they're looking for depending on what their particular end use is. So we've developed a big, huge commodity system where all of our beans go into a big bin and then are exported. But in some cases, there may be some quality factors that are produced in a certain environment or a certain variety that really match up with what an end user wants and needs. And we may be missing out on that by bulking all of these things together. So we're really trying to look beyond the current system and imagining a system where we can really tie producers and end users together, but still in an efficient way, so that we don't burden the transportation system. I think we are seeing a change in the discussion a little bit from total bushels and total yields to the overall value of it. And I think it's really important for us to look at this time. It's still a challenge. I think we might be in some ways getting ahead of ourselves because we don't yet know exactly what value means to everybody. But that's why an event like this is really important, because we have end users here and purchasers here, and we can ask them what they're looking for, what do they want, what have they been buying, and help react to that and help produce something, again, that they want, not just produce something that we have always produced or something that we know we can produce, but something for that end user. The relationships, I think, is the key to an event like this, is building those. I think that's the primary role, is putting buyers together with producers. But then we have all the value chain in between here as well. So it's not just putting a farmer together with a turkey producer or a poultry producer from some other country may not be of really a lot of value unless you connect them with the people in between. We all have to communicate and know where each other are finding value and be able to help each other along the value chain. But understanding what the needs are all the way through is really critically important. There's lots of interest in sustainability, and again, similar to questions about quality, the question around sustainability is really about definitions and how we define that. And I think we've really become a little bit more mature in our discussions around both of these, and the fact that these are complicated, and it's not easy just to simply say that this is high quality or this is simply sustainable, that there's many facets to that. that may not have been accounted for before. And we're definitely engaged in that conversation. And farmers here are really demonstrating how their commitment to sustainability has really been a long-term commitment, and it isn't something that they're simply doing to market their crop, but it's something that they've always done and always have been committed to. But now we're doing a better job defining what that is. The future quality in terms of identifying quality and measuring quality and then marketing on quality is really what we have to determine now. We have to find that trajectory. I think all the pieces are starting to come in place. We have to know what quality is, so we have to be able to define it. Do a better job of identifying what exactly quality means. And once we do that, then we have to be able to measure it. And so now we've got modern NIR equipment, so near-infrared spectroscopy equipment that can measure the quality of the crop all the way through. So deploying that throughout the marketplace and through the value chain is really critical, because then we can trace the actual and perceived value of that crop all the way through. And so that's really where things will start to happen as we identify what quality is and then measure it all the way through. That's will really be where I think we want to end up with this question. We're currently conducting a survey of the U.S. crop every year, and so samples of the soybean crop are sent into my lab. So we receive 2,000 or 3,000 samples each year from farmers. Farmers can contact me directly if they want, and they can receive a sample kit, and we can get an analysis of their crop. But I think they should also rest assured that we're doing a good job evaluating their crop, even if we're sampling from their neighbors or someone else in their county, that we're really doing a good job evaluating that. We take that to the end users and the purchasers, and we give them a sample of what they will be seeing when they start purchasing soybeans for the upcoming year. So it's really important for them. But farmers, I think the future is near, and I think we'll soon be able to do a better job measuring right locally. Concern is always that a farmer might be discounted based on their quality, and so we always have to be cognizant of the idea that we want to deploy measurement so it ultimately will help farmers in the end and produce a greater value for them overall. USEC's role is really to help market U.S. soybeans, and so when I first interacted with USEC, I thought that this was just an organization that helped promote soybeans and U.S. soy globally. But I can see over time the commitment to putting relationships together and having USEC staff and contractors that work directly with each of the buyers, develop a relationship, and help put them together with sellers is really critically important, because we can talk about soybeans and the value of U.S. soybeans, but if they're not available to them because of logistical reasons, because of the trade, because of connections with sellers, we don't have a sale. It's something that won't happen. And so USEC is really important in bridging that gap.